Lolly for life. Didn't realize we were playing with Rashid.
Hey there!
Hey guys, it's me again, Ken. I was working on this Rune Temple video, and I got a really great suggestion from someone in my last video. I'm really happy I got that suggestion. I love that you guys are giving me feedback. But yeah, so this is going to be a guide for Rune Temple, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys my stats and my gear so you can have an idea of what I got working on. Remember, I'm playing a Thief class. Now, with Thief, I need to do a bit more work to be able to compete. So do not be discouraged by my quote unquote high gear score. You can do this. You're fine. Just follow these steps. Alright, so starting off, you're gonna figure out what path you want to take, middle, left, or right. Now, the middle, you want to send two people, probably a decent DPS with a healer, and the left path, you can send maybe your thief if he knows how to play the class pretty well, as in staying alive, or your berserker, your knight, someone that can handle themselves. Now, on the right side, you want to send your DPS to pretty much break down the pillars of light. And now, when they bust down those pillars of light and get further, there's going to be next pillars of light for your middle group to handle. That's why you want to send the person that can actually survive on the left. All so maybe that's something. There's something going on the right side. Maybe they're not, you know, doing it too fast. The person on the left won't be too worried. They won't be in jeopardy. And middle, they should be fine because they have their priest, or also they also have a buddy with them. Now here's the last part of the first stage, so to speak, where there's gonna be three of those big guys. They're like Postar, something Tar, so I'll just call them all Tartars. So there's like three Tartars in the middle that you have to take care of, and you need to really communicate with your team. I definitely suggest using like Discord or some kind of voice comms to just always call out when you see them about charging a beam, because many times your team can be killed from a beam shot off screen, like you see happening almost to me. Now, once you finish with the three Tartars, the floor is going to appear and you're going to be able to go up either the left path or the right path. And the left path and right path split off, and they're pretty similar with what you have to do until you get to the final part before the boss. So let's go ahead over to the next phase. Now, with the next phase coming up, you're going to have to really rely on yourself a bit. One of you are going to have to take the foreground while the other takes the background. I suggest that the ranged character takes the background and whoever's in melee takes the foreground. Doesn't really matter, but you're pretty much just gonna have to carry your own weight here. So you go through your own path fighting down mobs. If you're in the foreground, there's gonna be beams that you're more beams of light that you're gonna have to break down to allow your partner to pass through, and a similar case is going on for the other end with your two other party members down the path. Now, something nice to note is that if you have a priest, their angelic ray and also some of their basic attacks actually have a pretty decent range. So maybe if they want to help you out, they can. So you won't have to really worry too much if you pretty much pair up your priest with like your squishy. Now, this is when they start incorporating like the elements that's going to be going on throughout Rune Temple. There's going to be fire, lightning, and ice, and I'll get much deeper into it once we reach the boss. Just remember for now that if you have fire, make sure not to bump into anyone, and if you have a lightning debuff on yourself, just make sure to keep moving and not to stay on the same place. You'll get stunned and take massive damage when the lightning strikes come down. Okay, now this is where you meet all your other party members. You take care of the Tartars in the middle and take the Partles heading up to the higher floor of the second stage. There'll be another mob sequence, and you'll just go through those and head through the crystals, which will lead to the third floor of the four floors before the boss. and let's move on there. Now this third stage is just a short, sweet, simple stage. You're going to be dealing with the lightning auras now, so make sure to be moving around. You fight Tartars in the middle, but my other side of my party were pretty much the heavy DPS, so they took care of them before I even reached. Now here in the fourth stage, the ones that took the right path will have to deal with these two mobs. Now, with the mobbing process here, there's going to be two Tartars you're going to have to fight. Depending on how you tackle it, you'll have to either solo them or you guys can just do 2v1 as a group. Now in the side panel here, this is where the left path comes to meet up. They don't have to deal with any Tartars, but instead they just deal with small little minion mobs, and they run into these urn-like looking bombs. Now when they toss the urn bombs at the Tartars, it stuns them, so it allows us to deal with them much easier, and it helps. It helps a lot. So all they have to do is pretty much just watch and just throw urns and hopefully not miss, and pretty much we just finish with that and move on to the next stage. Now here you don't really see too much of the trouble with it because we've kind of put in the practice of it, but try to make sure to call out beam or laser or whatever you want to make your call out, but try to make sure to call that out because you never know, someone isn't really paying attention to that animation coming out, especially them it coming off screen. Right there, it's not really too big of an issue, but yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and head on to the main boss. Alright, so now it's boss time, and we're gonna go deeper into the ice, fire, and lightning. Now, if you pay attention to the gauntlet on his left hand, you'll see which element he's channeling. And also, to know if you have one of the debuffs on you, you want to make sure to pay attention to where it shows the Tomb Shock debuff that you have. Right there where you're going to see you have the fire or the lightning debuff, and you want to be mindful about that. Now here with the ice mode that he doesn't exactly debuff anyone, but he will put down a lot of AoEs, larger AoE circles that if you stand in them, you'll freeze. And then also he'll call down ice shards, almost kind of like the Lubelisk fight with the green sword drops. So just pretty much be mindful of that. Make sure to always look at your feet. And make sure not to step in those circles because you'll get frozen and they do decent chunks of damage. Now, he's going to be doing the tornado that'll start sucking you in. I'll explain that in a little bit. And also, for some reason, turns you small. I still, for God knows why, I could not figure out what that exactly does to you or how he does it. So if anyone has an idea, please drop that in the comments. I'll appreciate that. So that red ray he does is almost kind of like the potion lock in MS1, except it reduces the healing you do from your pots by 40%, but you can still be healed just fine by a priest. Now with the fire debuff, you'll have a flame circle around you, and you want to make sure not to walk into any of your party members, because if they're caught in that circle, they'll just have stacking fire debuffs on them, which hurt them just like in the fire dragon fight. Stop putting stacks on me. I'm 9 stacks.
It's okay. Just let me heal you.
Now with his sword, he'll do horizontal swings and slams. You just need to watch out for those. And when he does damage the floor like that, the vents will break and you'll be able to go into them. Those allow you to pretty much avoid being sucked in by the tornado and allow you to avoid him doing his 2-hit swing, which he'll be doing later on. Now eventually he'll do a stronger version of the tornado, which is very difficult to avoid, but whoever survives out of it, they'll have to quickly climb on top of the pillars, then the center, and pretty much just whack him in the face or just stand there, and then he'll just gain attention on whoever's in front of him and not crush your friends. If you don't get on that pillar in time, he'll just instant kill the rest of the party in his hand. Now in this stage here, The damage field he puts on the ground does a lot of damage, and you'll have to kill 4 mobs in total before it ends. Pretty much you'll be 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. You also really need to be mindful of like explosions. He would spawn under you. They do huge chunks of damage, and I honestly believe that you can't out heal it because it's like a consecutive double blast. So you want to watch out for that. Now here you saw him do the double swing that I was referring to. Now he'll start doing that a lot more when he finishes doing ground charges like that. So you want to be able to figure out a way to deal with that. Me as a thief, I'm still practicing on doing the evade right, do my cunning tactics, and then use my spin to avoid it. But other people, you can either just jump in the vent or just get heals, out heal it, because it doesn't one shot you. But you just have to be mindful that after every single charge sequence he does, you're going to have to watch out for what he does next. Now with the lightning aura here, all you gotta do is just be mindful of if you have the debuff on yourself. Now if you have the debuff on yourself, there'll be lightning strikes spawning where you're standing, and you have to move out of them, as well as him doing his own lightning strikes. So if you get caught in one, you'll be staggered. If you get caught in another, you'll be stunned, and then the next one will probably just kill you unless you're able to move out in time. Alright, so that covers everything you need to do to complete Rune Temple. If you guys enjoyed the video, please like, please subscribe. That really encourages me to be putting out more videos. Anything you want to ask, go ahead and ask him in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.
Ooh, don't laser me, daddy.
You guys are okay. Watch out, laser.
Yep, they're both aiming at me. I feel discriminated against. Oh, I missed.
Wait, don't do it!